Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the DCL Show, your source for Disney cruise news and reviews. Coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, realtor with movingtoorlando.com, Mr. Drake Shadwell.
Hey, everybody.
Senior editor for The Diz, Ms. Jackie Gailey.
Hi, everybody.
Agent extraordinaire with Dreams Unlimited Travel, Ms. Elaine Edwards.
Hi, friends.
And associate editor of The Diz, Ms. Denny Sunderly.
Hey there.
And of course, back in the production nook, our awesome producer, Mr. Craig Williams.
Ahoy, hoy.
And just before we get started, folks, just a reminder that this show, along with everything we do, is brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. In full disclosure, I am an owner in Dreams Unlimited Travel, and that is why one of the reasons why it is so amazing. If I do say so myself.
This is very true.
This is very true. Of course, you have to agree. So if you like our content, if you don't want to see Craig panhandling on Orange Blossom Trail, this is how Dreams Unlimited is how we make sure that this content comes to you and that Craig remains clothed and in a home. It also it always amazed me that people didn't understand that you don't pay extra going through a travel agent. Mm-mm. Travel agents are paid by the travel destination, in this case Disney, not by you. And so whatever you pay Disney is the same thing you're going to pay us, but you're going to get a shipboard credit on your Disney Cruise Line vacation up to $1,000. You're also going to get the services of an awesome agent like Elaine, who will step you through every part of the process. And that was especially important last year when a lot of people had to change plans and didn't have to spend 7 or 8 hours, no lie, on the phone, on hold, waiting to do that. That's what your agent is for. So please, DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, and I do appreciate your support. Okay, so this week, I want to talk about Palo. And normally a conversation about Palo, for me anyway, would always be glowing. This one is not. This one is not at all. There are some changes to Palo that I'm not happy with. I know a lot of people are not happy with. But I also had an incredibly disappointing meal at Palo. And we do have a vlog going up, but it's all part of this conversation. So, now for those who don't know, Palo and Remy, the two signature restaurants on the Disney cruise ships, were always an upcharge. I believe it was $45 a person was the upcharge, but you could order whatever you wanted off the menus. Palo was $45. I forgot what Remy was. $125 a person. And I mean, literally, you could go into Palo and see 3 entrees, and you couldn't decide between them, and you order all of them, which I have done, and I know many people have done. They have decided, in anticipation of The Wish coming out next year, Palo is going to be a steakhouse, I believe, on that ship, and they have decided to go from that pay one price, all inclusive, to an a la carte option. Now, right now, you can go ahead and pay the $45 and order from a prefix menu, or you can order off the a la carte menu where every item has a price. Now, I always get the Asabuco when I go to Palo. They do an amazing job with the Asabuco. But Asabuco was not on the prefix menu. So it was $22 on the a la carte. So I decided, let me try the a la carte menu and see what I think. Well, I took a bite of this ossobuco. And then I took another one. And then I took a bite of the risotto that was underneath it. And I didn't say anything. And I pushed the plate across to Drake. I said, taste this. Tell me what you think. And he looked at me and he goes, well, that's bland. Like, okay, it's not me. No flavor at all. No flavor at all. I don't know how you cook an ossobuco, cover it in gravy, and put it on a bed of risotto and forget the flavor. I don't know how that happens. So when the server came back and asked what I thought, I was honest with her. I said, you need to tell the chef that this is a bland dish. And she's like, oh, can I get you something else? I'm like, no, I'm eating it, but just not very good. And I ended up not eating very much of it. I don't even think I ate half of it because there was no point, And, the server had come back and she goes, I took a bite of it in the kitchen and you're right. And she's like, I've asked the chef to come out and talk to you, but he's busy right now. And I didn't ask to speak to the chef. I said, but did you communicate to him that his ossobuco sucks? And she's like, yes, I did. Okay. And she kept coming out and saying, I'm asking the chef to come out, but he's busy. And I'm like, he doesn't want to come to this table.
Specifically, she said he's in a meeting at, I believe it was 10:15 at night. So either they hold very strange meeting hours or
while the restaurant is open for service.
Yes.
While the restaurant's open for service. But also, is he the only person back there cooking? Or the manager? Is the manager also in a meeting? And they knew we were vlogging this. They don't know who we were, per se. I don't think so. But they knew we were vlogging it because we were vlogging at the table. And I would think, I don't know. I would think you might want to just pay attention. And when I got the bill, I honestly expected that they would have just taken that off. They did not. It stayed on the bill. And I mentioned that in the vlog as I'm going through I'm like, oh, they left this ossobuco on the bill. Okay. I mean, I wasn't going to complain about it. I wasn't going to make a scene or anything like that. I'm there to review it. And I normally won't send food back, nor will I ever ask to have something taken off the bill when I'm doing a review. I won't do that. I want to see what the restaurant's going to do. Palo just fell asleep on the job. And if you're going to go to this model, this is the only place on the ship where something is being taken away. Something is being changed like that, and they're not putting anything else in its place to replace it. We were talking about this on previous shows, that this is the only place where I felt they made a negative change and did not. Because if you're gonna start charging a la carte for this stuff, up your game. Mm-hmm. Up your game. Not just your game in the kitchen, but also your game on how you handle issues. Because apparently, with this a la carte menu, they're not taking anything off the check. They're not taking anything off the check. And I made my feelings known through certain channels that I think the entire thing that they're doing with this is a mistake. I think introducing the nickel and diming on a cruise that is already significantly more expensive than its competitors. I expect the nickel and diming on Royal Caribbean. I expect the nickel and diming on Carnival. I do not expect it on Disney. I do not expect it on Disney.
And this was not one of those Like right before they started sailing again, they released the Know Before You Goes. This was not a reactive decision. They announced this change months before the ship started sailing again.
Because this is what they're intending to do on the Wish. And so they're getting the rest of the fleet in line. It is a mistake. Talking to various people that work in Palo, as well as other people on the ship, the feedback has been overwhelmingly negative. Overwhelmingly negative. And unlike their internet service, this is something that appears on the guest comment cards. And for the first time, I think, in all the years I've sailed Disney, this was the first time I gave Palo a very low rating. I was absolutely unimpressed. Now, here's the funny thing. The next night in Enchanted Garden, Ossobuco was on the menu. I figured, okay, let me just compare them. The Ossobuco in Enchanted Garden was better than the Ossobuco in Palo. So either up your game, fire your chef, or learn how to season meat before you cook it. I don't know which of those things need to happen. But apparently, whoever's cooking the Ossobuco in Enchanted Garden knew what to do better than the people in Palo.
See, my husband so when we went to Palo on our most recent cruise, it was on the Fantasy, and loved the Ossobuco. Enjoyed it, enjoyed the risotto, the whole 9 yards. I had the pappardelle, which is pasta with a lobster tail and a great sauce and all that jazz going on. I wasn't wowed by my dish, and I think that was the first time in Palo that I wasn't wowed by what I
something's
had.
Up.
And but that being said, the calamari, the buffalo mozzarella salad that I had, very, very, very good with the heirloom tomatoes. But I have to say that walking in and being presented with that a la carte, okay, here's your very small fixed price menu that you can choose from, and then here's all your a la carte options. It took away from the overall experience of the dinner. It was abrupt. It added on a layer of figuring out the amounts because if you are platinum, you get a free meal, you get a free dinner in Palo. And so we were there as platinum members. So the server explained to us that they would take $45 off of our bill should we choose to order off of the a la carte menu, which my husband did do. Yeah. Absolutely. But it just presents a little bit of the real world that isn't normally in Palo. Like I expected if I roll into any other restaurant, not on Disney Cruise Line, but in Palo, it was just this lovely, I want to say magical, Jackie, but magical place where you just don't have to worry about all those numbers and prices and all that jazz. No, now they've introduced that as part of the Palo experience, and it's a little jarring.
And you're looking at entrees on the a la carte menu that are ranging from $21 to $62. The 28-ounce dry-aged prime Angus porterhouse steak is $62. The 8-ounce tenderloin, which is one of their signature dishes, is now $32 if you want the steak. And here's the thing. If you're going to do this, you need to get a lot better. Because here's what I think happened. I think Palo wasn't making the kind of money they wanted to make. And so what they've done is they've scaled back on the quality and raised the prices. You're not Walt Disney World. You're not Walt Disney World. You're better than Walt Disney World. But right now, Palo isn't. And I'm going to tell you something. I had much more enjoyable meals in the main dining rooms than I did in Palo. Mm-hmm. And that's just a sad fact. That's just a sad fact. You are breaking something that wasn't broken before. You're fixing something that wasn't broken before. And look, if you turn around and said, hey, listen, we need to up the per person price to $65, $70, $80.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But this nickel and diming crap, and then the food isn't very good. And you don't want to take anything off the menu, and the chef is too much of a wuss to come out of the kitchen and face the criticism. Yeah, you got a problem here. And if this is your test bed for the Wish, you better start fixing things. Because that was a gross disappointment.
Well,
and I don't think I've ever had a review of Palo like this in the entire time I've been doing this.
it's sad from the aspect of Palo, just like all of the other restaurants, the servers do have their favorite items, and they are proud of where they work and the quality of the food that's coming out. And I mean, every time I ate at Palo for dinner specifically, I can remember ordering, saying, okay, I want the steak. That's what I always get. But depending on which server you have, they might be like, can I please bring you a couple of my favorites too? And so as soon as you switch to an a la carte model, it ruins what they're able to do. It's no longer, let me bring you out a half portion of this or a half portion of that because, well, you'd have to pay for that. And that's ridiculous. It kills the spirit of Palo.
It does.
I wonder if they changed something since we went on, because
I think they're cutting back they're pulling a Disney World. They're pulling back the quality and raising the price.
okay, because we had both brunch one day and dinner another day at Palo. And so I'm sitting here trying to figure out if it's because I'm not a Platinum Castaway Club member like you guys. So I don't know Palo's menu inside and out. And I don't have certain specific favorites because I haven't dined there more than twice. That was, you know what I mean? And so I'm trying to think but our server did bring us fun things. He did bring us other things other than what we ordered at brunch and at dinner. And so, like, because he wanted us to try stuff. And we didn't dislike anything that we had. Like, everything we had we didn't even need to ask for salt and pepper. And my husband puts fresh ground pepper on absolutely everything. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that must have changed. And so we went... Our most recent cruise was the 20th of September. And so I wonder, and we were on the Dream. So I wonder if something changed a little bit since we saw the a la carte stuff, but we didn't really pay any attention to any of that.
So you went with the all-inclusive? Like the
prefix
menu.
Yeah,
menu.
the prefix,
And I'm guessing all of us went with the a la carte. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I got the pappardelle. Yes. So we both decided, he got the ossobuco, I got the pappardelle, and just went with the 45. Because we had to sit there and do math at the dinner table and go, okay, so which one is the better bargain? Like which one makes the most of our opportunity to be here in this moment and have our platinum $45?
What's on the prefix menu?
Well,
Did you say it?
It's very small.
So for your antipasto, it's either buffalo mozzarella or the calamari. For your salad course, it's either mescalin salad or the baby arugula. For your main course, it's either penne pasta, roasted free-range chicken, pan-seared salmon, or the 6-ounce beef tenderloin. And for dessert, it's either a limoncello tart or the chocolate souffle. That's the entirety of your selection. You have a lot more options on the a la carte menu. Now that prefix menu is $45. So if you are a Platinum Castaway Club and you go in and you get the prefix menu, it costs you nothing, just like before. But before, I could order anything off the menu I wanted. Now I'm limited. If I want the prefix menu, I can only order these items. If I want the a la carte menu and I want to pay per item, I can order off the full menu. And this is going over like a lead balloon. And I'm very interested to see. Because I heard a lot of people say the same thing. I'm willing to pay more, but stop nickel and diming me.
So might be something that I was confused on. Are you do you order one from each, or can you do like get the half orders like you were talking about, Craig? Like, can you still do like if you wanted, a little bit of each one, or are they limiting you?
I don't know, because we didn't do it, so I can't say now. Now, it used to be, you could say, hey, listen, I want this, but can you give me a half order of the pasta? And they would absolutely do it for you.
They would encourage it.
They would encourage it. Now, not so much.
Because now I'm starting to think, because I almost did do the prefix menu, but there was one thing on the a la carte menu that I was like, I really want to try that. I really want that. And that made me go to the a la carte.
And what did you get again?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was the pasta. Yeah, I'll look at it in just a second. But I will say, like, I'm now listening to what you said, Jackie, makes me think, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have, like, chosen just because of that one thing, and instead gone with, okay, let me take the general options that they have, because those were good. I don't think that's how they should move it to, but while it is this way, just from listening, I think the best recommendation is, if you do go to Palo, just go to the prefix menu and try everything that they've got, because it's better than trying to head over to the a la carte and then you get a dish you don't like and you just paid for something that actually
or better yet, how about they make sure that everything coming out of their damn kitchen tastes good, and before they start nickel and diming you and charging you for it? I think that's a better solution.
I think the best solution is you still go to your main dining room, book your Palo much later, so that way you can just have 2 dinners. So then you're not like, I'm still hungry for my little tiny 6-ounce steak. Who eats 6 ounces of steak?
Yeah. I thought about the steak and then went, oh, yeah, it's only 6 ounces. So I want more than a 6-ounce steak.
I was tempted to do the porterhouse just to see where they are with steak, because that's where Palo's going. Palo's going to a steakhouse. But I'm like, if you can't get the ossobuco right, I don't think you're going to cook a porterhouse much better.
I got to say, the chefs, the manager, the service, the servers, and on the Fantasy Palo were wonderful. Came to the table, said hi, made sure we were okay.
Nope.
I'm so sorry you didn't have that experience on the Dream. I'm sorry.
No. I think they're going to be sorry I didn't have that experience on the Dream, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's a good thing to point out, though, is that clearly, Denny was on the Fantasy when Brian liked his ossobuco there. So clearly they're doing some things better on that ship.
And I think this is a systemic issue on the Dream with Palo. It's clearly not systemic throughout all the restaurants. It's apparently not even systemic throughout the ships. I think it is. I think they've got a bad executive chef in Palo, and who either doesn't care or doesn't know what he's doing. I'm not sure which. But he either needs to up his game or he needs to shuffle along to Buffalo, because that was you're ruining an awesome restaurant with a great reputation. And if you're going to make this change, you have to be better. You can't go from an all-inclusive to an a la carte and get worse. And that's exactly what you've done. So either learn how to cook an ossobuco, find your spice rack, or get out.
As far as the menu is concerned, the idea that we have to now sit there and think about cost, the prices of a la carte items, I feel like cheapens the experience.
Oh, it certainly does.
Which is disappointing.
Think of what your target demographic in a cruise is. The people that go on cruises are generally people who want to pay up front, and then they love the words all inclusive. That is the words you want to hear with a cruise. Those are the kind of people that are on a cruise, are the people that don't want to think about, and they're willing to pay. Like, okay, if I did do the math, I'd save, $13.75. They don't want to do that. They're okay paying that extra $13.75 because they don't have to do the math, because they don't have to sit at their table. I think someone forgot that those are the kinds of people that are on a cruise, are the people that don't want to have to think about what they're doing for dinner. They want to look down on a menu, say, "Ooh, I want a steak. Let's grab that. I don't want to have to think about the price. Oh, can I try a little bit of the lamb?" All inclusive is a very, very nice part about a cruise, and you're taking that away in this restaurant.
Well, especially if you had ate in one of the main dining restaurants the night before and you said, all 3 of those appetizers look great. Bring me all 3, and they will. Mm-hmm. And then you say, oh, I really like that one. Bring me another one, and they will. To up here where it's like, no, pump the brakes.
And I mean, great example is, I believe it was Enchanted Garden. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. We love the fried brie.
Oh, yeah.
And boom, what'd you say? The only problem is that there's not any more.
Yeah, after I ate the fried brie, and the server came up and said, well, how was it? I said, well, there's a problem. And you say that to these servers, and their face goes white and they pass out. And it's like, well, what's the problem? I said, there's no more of it. And he laughed, relieved, came back, because the first plate had 2 pieces of fried brie on it and this delicious cranberry orange chutney. And he came back a few minutes later with another plate with 4 of them on there. So
it's the best thing that DCL makes. I'm sorry, that fried brie is magic.
Yeah.
And the idea that would cost you extra in Palo is that you liked something, and so in order to get extra, you'd then have to double your charge on it. Whereas that's not. If I'm on land, if I'm at a restaurant, I get it. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm talking like I'm a platinum member right now. This is my first cruise. But I feel like that's part of the cruise experience.
Also, let's be mindful. We've all been around Disney for a long time. Let's be mindful of the slippery slope. How long before we start seeing premium dishes show up on the main dining room menus?
That's
How, you can get this steak, included, or if you want this one, it's another $15 or $20.
That's essentially
How
what
long
they're
before
doing
we
in
see
Palo.
that?
That's essentially what they're saying in Palo, is because your prefix menu, like I said, I wanted one thing. I almost went through the entire prefix menu. I was like, oh, I have something from the antipasta. I have something for my second. I have something for the dessert. But the one thing I wanted wasn't in that once, and so I had to jump over. So essentially that's what they did do, is say these are premium dishes only available on our it's a fancy way of saying premium dishes is a la carte.
Yeah.
But they pose it as, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
They pose it as, we're giving the guests more choices and giving them the freedom to decide how they would like to dine.
Yeah.
They don't want the
We
separate charges.
didn't find this. We didn't find the experience particularly challenging before this.
It wasn't lacking.
We didn't
It
need
was great.
freedom. We weren't sitting there screaming like Moses, "Let my people go." We didn't need that. Okay, we were fine with it just the way it was. Like I said, if you had decided, hey, listen, we need to up the cover charge, we wouldn't have been happy with that either. But we would have understood that. Whoever came up with this is an idiot. Whoever came up with this plan is an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're a perfectly nice person.
However,
But you're an idiot. At least where this is concerned.
I was going to ask Jackie about the brunch experience. What was brunch?
Yeah, 'cause I didn't do brunch either.
We know what the dinner experience is like now. What was brunch like?
So I thought brunch was so cool because brunch was the thing that we did do when we went a few years ago.
Okay.
And so we did the buffet and the whole 9 yards with that. But this time, instead of getting up to go get food, the server just brought everything to us.
Okay.
So they brought us this lovely bread basket with
Okay.
2 of each item. And they brought us, they just kept bringing things. and he would tell us about it, and he would want us to try this. And can I bring you this? This is what we have special. And, can I bring this to you? And so we were like, sure, we'll try,
Well, again,
that's
slippery
good.
slope. How long
so
before
cool.
we go this route with premium upcharges on the brunch?
Hopefully
Yeah,
not.
I hope not.
They're
beautiful.
on a bad path. They're on a bad path.
Well, I also wonder too if they're running these ships at a third full, 40% full, so that there's a cost issue here, and so trying to juggle.
Yeah, but
what
this
do we
change isn't
do?
about that. This change
Yeah.
is about the Wish. This change is about setting up what they're going to do on the Wish. And I'll tell you what. I don't know what you're going to do on the Wish. But if it's as crappy as what you just did on my cruise, I'm not impressed already. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But generally speaking, Palo, massive, massive disappointment for me on this cruise. But that, folks, is going to do it for this week's episode of the DCL Show. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next week.